Out there to you. In this video, we're going to recreate this table and figure out what the profit maximizing quantity is. So let's start here on H, and in economics, instead of writing out quantity, we're just going to use capital Q here. It's not capital there. Already on. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit. So there's Q. And instead of writing out total revenue, I'm just going to use TR, TC for total cost, MR for marginal revenue, and MC for marginal cost. Make these a little bit smaller. What I'm doing is just double clicking on the double bars there in Google Sheets, and it does everything for me. Okay, so I want to see quantities, so I'm just going to type in quantities 50, 100. Now the computer is smart enough to know what I'm doing. So I want to go up to 300, so one more. And then total revenue, 0, 250, 500. Should be smart enough. If you highlight all of these and then drag it down, 1500, there we go. Total cost, 300. This one I got to type in because it's not linear. And 1120,500. And then for marginal revenue, there isn't a marginal revenue in the first two quantities. So that's because marginal revenue is the change in quantity divided by the change in, sorry, it's the change in whatever the value is divided by the change in quantity. So I wouldn't have anything for 0. So I want to put everything centered. And I think I'd like to center everything here. So I'm just clicking on that. Okay. Now I don't need this table anymore. So I can kind of zoom in on that table right there so you can see what I'm doing. And that's pretty good. Okay, so marginal revenue, we're going to write a function, and it's going to be the difference between this and this. And then I want to put it in parentheses. And it's going to be divided by the difference between this and this, so the two quantities. Now I'm putting it in parentheses, telling Google Sheets to do that first. Okay, and now I've got that, and that makes sense because that's 250 divided by 50, that is 5. I'm going to copy my formula down. I just grab that dot there. Okay, and I've got that. Now I can see that it's 50. So if I wanted to, I could have just put this denominator as 50, but I don't. Okay, I'll show you why in a second. And then for this, I'm going to do the same thing. So one more time, put this in parentheses. It would be this value minus this value, so the change in total cost divided by the change in quantity, which again is 50, but I'll make sure, close the parentheses. It's suggesting I autofill. I'm going to do that rather than drag it down. Okay, and so what I could do here, if I want to profit maximize, I could say is MR greater than MC? And so here, this answer is yes, 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 because I'm always going to produce when MR is greater than MC. I could do that. I could also then, so I know that the answer is to produce 200. And finally, I might be considering like what is the, how do I fill in that? There we go, yellow. So this would be profit maximizing quantity, profit max quantity. And the price would be 5 because this is perfectly competitive. And then finally, if I want to know what the profit is, you can kind of check your work here since I'm in a spreadsheet. So just total revenue minus total cost. And you can see 190 is the highest level of profit that I would get from producing this output here. So that's why that's profit maximizing. But we already knew that because that's where you stop. Okay. Now the reason that I didn't just put in 50 there. Let's say that it wasn't 50. So I'm done with the problem. But let's say it was going up by like I don't know, like 35 and then like 70. You know, 110 and I don't know, 150 and like 60. See, it's changing everything. 160. And we'll say like, I don't know, 165, something like that. So now my answers are different. Marginal revenue higher than marginal cost. Now I would still produce to here, but you can see by changing this number, it changed both of these values in here. And so that's how to set that up with a spreadsheet like Google Sheets.